Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 20th of October. Well, the bulls continued to push the issue here as we saw, before the shorts had started to activate a little bit, but midterm, long-term buyers just pushed right through them and just continued to press the move. Magenta's still riding above everything on the NBI reading, so very consistent within that. Shakeout moving well into the positive category after those weeks of softness where we saw a lot of bouncing back and forth. It's pretty strong from that turnaround point. NASDAQ a bit weaker, not quite at the same level, but close, and mimicking those readings, getting pretty extreme. 51 on the NBI reading. Oftentimes we'll get some kind of turnaround on that setup, but or at least a flattening, and that would slow things down a little bit. But this is what was needed in order to be able to break out to new highs, both on the S&P and the NASDAQ. So it was clear within those setups, and again also positive shakeout, just slightly less than the S&Ps. So pretty clean from that aspect. Again, the euro trying to stage some type of a comeback as the market moves, but still under a lot of pressure in general. Of course, interest rates, we expect them to continue to rise. So we see here from TLT in those readings, oil still at its peak, hasn't broken into a new high, but came very close to it, finished just off that. But it's pretty solid bullish with those readings from the NBI hanging below the 10 level for, I mean, it's at 187, so it's still ready to go. And of course, pushing Bitcoin as that inflationary hedge. So this is where they're going to continue to drive that one, at least in the interim here, with those readings are still positive as well for Bitcoin. When we look at a 50K standpoint, so we had that closeout, brief little pause, reignited it right back up above, and carried away. Surprisingly, when we get this reading, usually we ended up with a little bit more retrace than this, but just extraordinarily weak NBI white readings here, so shorts just weren't activated. It started to pick up just a little bit as we broach into these new highs, but with Magenta and that riding well over the 40 range, it's still bullish. So it's going to take a little bit for that to turn around. Intraday, again, small range. So again, when you're reaching higher highs on much lower volumes, that becomes a little bit more of a concern. As you can see, every time we got to a peak, we had a little bit of a soft signal, but I mean, it really wasn't even moving 4 or 5 points maximum. And then it was just a slow, steady, even when we ended up with the little dips, they were just tiny. And just reoccurred with cyan under red throughout most of it. So positive extremes, absolutely. Set up a couple of those levels. We have a few others that are a little bit higher up, right around that 44.98 range. So we'll start to build a new set of those, and on a higher volume situation, it's going to fill pretty quickly. So we'll see how they set that one up. But for now, pretty straightforward. It was kind of really a boring day for the most part. Not a whole lot of volatility either direction to really move anything. So it's just a slow ebb. As always, though, I will keep updating the Skype chat and charts as they're relevant. Trade well. We'll talk to you later.